Dear students, welcome to Gordon School of English channel. Today, I am going to have the analysis of The Old Man and the Meadow, the novel that was written by Ferdinand Oyono. The setting of the novel is Cameroon, especially during the colonial period. Introduction. The novel The Old Man and the Meadow is about an old man called Mecca who is converted to Christianity, accepts Christianity and colonialism, thinking that they are good. Mecca accepts the policy of assimilation with both hands. However, later on, he is discouraged by those colonial masters or the French, and he decides to break away with Christianity. At first, Mecca is promised and given a medal. When his medal, that indicated friendship with whites, got lost due to being drunk, Mecca is arrested by the police. This angers him so much and starts to gain awareness that whites are hypocrites. Mecca is a representative of all Africans who were once subjected under colonial rule. Important events or things to remember about the novel The Old Man and the Meadow by Ferdinand Oyono. 1. Mecca was promised a medal by the French being represented by the district commissioner, and he was given the medal. The medal was lost on the same day he receives it. Number 2. Mecca's friendship with whites came as a result of Mecca's sacrifice of 2 sons who died at war fighting for the French. Number 3. The medal was a symbol of hypocrisy of whites because no any importance of that medal. Whites pretended to love Mecca while they did not. Another thing is colonialism was evil in Cameroon because people's land were taken by the whites. Africans were tortured and humiliated. Another thing to remember is Mecca also gave a large piece of land to whites, but he himself remained with a small plot of land. Generally, the novel was about colonialism in Cameroon. Dear students, let us now look at characters and characterization. The first character in this novel is Mecca. Mecca is an old man. He was a traditionalist before colonialism in Cameroon, but he becomes a Christian during colonial rule and later goes to traditions again. Mecca is the husband of Kelara. His 2 sons die supporting the whites against their fellow Africans. At first, Mecca was ignorant about the whites' mission, but later he becomes aware of the evils of colonialism. Again, Mecca was awarded a Medal of Honor by the whites. Also, Mecca was beaten and humiliated by the whites. Example, beaten by the police. Of course, that he was beaten by the police. So Mecca is pompous. Mecca is pompous. He is happy to have the relationship with whites. So he sees himself like he is above other Africans. Mecca is a heavy drunkard. He drinks alec at Mami Titi's place. Okay, so another character, dear students, is Kelala. Kelala is the wife of Mecca. Although Kelala is a Christian, she does not truly believe in it. Kelala is conscious of the white man's evils. Kelala is desolate or hopeless because her two sons died when they were fighting for the French against their fellow Africans. Kelala becomes happy when her husband breaks away with the French. Kelala loves her husband. She obeys him even on matters against her will. Kelala was betrothed when she was very young, and this can be seen on page 38 of The Old Man and the Meadow. Dear students, another character is Engamba. Engamba. Engamba is Mecca's brother-in-law. He supports Mecca by giving him a goat when Mecca was about to be given a medal by the whites. Engamba believes in superstition. He is also a polygamist. He has 7 wives. Engamba is a Christian convent, but not serious. Engamba follows traditions and customs of his society like polygamy, inheritance of wives, etc. Dear students, another character is called Goulet, and this is the chief of police in the colonial state of the French. He is very brutal or harsh. He punishes Africans severely in Cameroon. Goulet forces Africans to have identification paper wherever they go. Another character is the police. The police is the security system established by the French to maintain peace for the interest of whites or colonialists. The police are very harsh. They beat and torture the Africans. They torture Mecca when found him drunk. They are nepotistic. They favor only whites against the Africans. And the last character I'm going to describe is called the District Commissioner, or the DC. He is the chief leader representing whites in the district level. He awards Mecca a medal. He is hypocrite, as he really knows that the medal has nothing to do with Mecca's success in life. He turns down the offer given by Mecca. He rejects going to Mecca's home. Ladies and gentlemen, apart from characters and characterization, let us look at the thematic analysis of the old man and the meadow. Now, the first theme is colonialism. Dear students, do you really know what colonialism is? The novel shows how Africans suffer under colonial rule. In this novel, colonialism is exploitative in nature. The colonialists took the land of the natives like Mecca's land. Mecca remains with only a small plot of land, and this was so to other Africans too. The colonialists tortured the blacks in Cameroon. Example, Mecca was tortured by the police when they found him drunk. Many people also died in war fighting for the colonialists or the French. Example, Mecca's 2 sons died on that account. Therefore, the Africans suffered so much under colonial rule. Dear students, the second theme is hypocrisy, and this refers to pretending to have qualities or beliefs that you do not really have. You tell people that you are good, or you act good before the people, but inside you are not that way. So in this novel, the whites are shown as hypocrites. They are portrayed as hypocrites. They pretend to love Africans and assimilation policy while they intend to exploit them. They praise Maker for his contribution, but they don't mean it. On that day, he was to be given a medal. They ignore him and leave him under the hot sun for a long time. Also, the whites give Maker a medal, but later on, they arrest him. The whites live with Africans women and their girlfriends, but hides the truth. This was an indicator of also hypocrisy. For example, Fukon hides his girlfriend in the storeroom when he gets white visitors. So, actually, he had no true love to his girlfriend. Another indicator of hypocrisy in this novel is Father Vandermeer is a religious leader, but is also a racist. He is not comfortable sharing his van with Maker or his car with Maker. Father Vandermeer also used it to chase beggars from his church. You see, so this is not the good trait of a person who considers him to be a churchman, or Another indicator of hypocrisy, dear students, is the whites also preach against alcoholism, but they drink imported beer. They reject the traditional beer and accept your drink imported ones. So that was an indicator also of hypocrisy, because how can you prohibit something that you do use yourself? Dear students, another theme is exploitation. Please say exploitation. Okay, exploitation could mean improper use of something for selfish purposes. Now, the act or result of forcibly depriving someone of something to which she or he has a natural right is also called exploitation. So in this novel, Africans are exploited by the whites. Whites brainwash the Africans to the extent that Africans offer everything to them. In this novel, Africans offer their plots of land and even their sons without compensation. Dear students, another theme is betrayal. Have you ever been betrayed by any person? Do you think that betrayal is good? Well, to betray means to hurt somebody who trusts you, especially by not being loyal or faithful to them. And this is according to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, 8th edition. To betray means to hurt somebody who trusts you, especially by not being loyal or faithful to them. This is according to Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, 8th edition. In this novel, whites are traitors. They betray Africans on various issues. For example, in the novel, the whites betray Maker by not respecting him appropriately during the medal awarding ceremony. They ignore him and they let him suffer under hot sun for a long time. Another indicator of betrayal is whites also betray Maker by arresting him and torturing him, while at first they say he is their friend. They know they are the ones who gave him beer, but when he gets drunk, they just arrest him. You see, that is betrayal. Okay, so another betrayal is M. Fukon betrays his African girlfriends by not treating them well as girlfriends. Therefore, when visitors come, he just hide them, in the store so that they cannot be seen. So that is betrayal. It's not it's not the kind of love that should be. Therefore, colonialists were not faithful to nations, to natives, but they had their own interests in Africa, right? Okay. Dear students, another theme is ignorance. Mecca and his fellow Africans were ignorant of white men's mission in Africa. They did not know that whites want to exploit them, especially economically. Ignorance made Africans easily accept colonialists and accept exploitation. So we see a good number. All Africans by that time who did not react against the coming of colonialism were ignorant. For example, Mecca was ignorant of the white mission in Africa. Dear students, apart from the concept of ignorance, which is evident in our very much evident in our novel, let us now discuss about position of women in the society. Position of women in the society. So women are portrayed in different positions in this novel. First, women are portrayed as tools for prey. Example, M. Foucault takes African girls for sex, not for love. That is why I told you before that when other whites just go to pay him a visit, he just hide them in the store. African men also marry many wives. Ngamba, for example, sits between the legs of his wives. It's just for pleasure. Okay. Also, women are portrayed as parents and caretakers. Example, Amalia's mother gives Amalia good upbringing, and hence Amalia becomes a good woman. Okay, so dear students, when you read this novel, you will come to understand who is Amalia, right? So I encourage you to go and read the novel, and it is a good habit reading books. This is very important because currently knowledge, many skills are hidden in books. Okay, another position of women is women are portrayed as having true love. Example, Kelala to Mecca. Another issue is women are portrayed as emotional. Example, Amalia cries bitterly when she is reminded of her 2 sons who had died. Okay. Dear students, apart from that, let us now finish up with the theme of African traditions and customs. In this novel, dear students, different traditions and customs, that are of Africans' origin are discussed or shown in this novel. The first thing is bride price, and this is one of the traditions that was can be found in Africa. Bride price, and in the novel it can be found on page 33. Men have to pay bride price to get wives. You see, so Mecca and Gamba, all those paid the bride price to get their wives. Another tradition is polygamy. Ngamba has 7 wives, you see. And in Africa, up to now, there are many tribes that embrace polygamy. Another tradition is inheritance of widows. Inheritance of widows. Example, 6 of Ngamba's wives are those he inherits from his father. 6 of Ngamba's wives are those he inherits from his father. So that is polygamy, that is inheritance of widows. Another issue is ere marriage. Kelala was betrothed to Mecca when they were still children. Kelala was betrothed to Mecca when they were still children. That means the engagement was made when they were still young. The last thing is 40 taboos. The young were not allowed to eat the entrails of a sheep without the permission of the clan. Mvondo, example, broke the rule. Mvondo broke this rule and ate it. but it was not, he was considered disrespectful. And when we speak about entrails of a sheep, we mean internal organs of a sheep, because entrails are internal organs of an animal, especially the intestines, right? Message of the novel. Number 1, too much exploitation and humiliation may lead to raise of awareness among the exploited. Refer to Maker. Number 2, colonialism was exploitative in nature. Number 3, polygamy, bride price, superstition, widow inheritance, early marriage, and the full taboos are outdated traditions. They should be discouraged. Number 4, alcoholism is not a solution to problems. This can increase problems. Maker loses his medal because of drinking too much. Number 5 is nepotism and the racism should be avoided. And the last message is awareness and education are so important in order to break the chain of exploitation. So when one is aware, it is easier for him or for them to break away with any kind of humiliation and exploitation done against them. Ladies and gentlemen, the last theme, the last part is relevance. Relevance of the book. Of course, the book is relevant to our contemporary societies. Actually, you can see different themes depicted in this novel are still relevant. They are still present. Example, if you see, if you read about betrayal, exploitation, currently there are companies that exploit their workers. You see, we have also seen ignorance. There are still some of the people who are ignorant, and of course, human beings are at one times ignorant. You cannot be all-knowing, right? There are different African traditions, customs that are not good up to now. For example, there is the issue of circumcision of women, which is prevalent in some of the African societies. In this novel, it was not discussed, but it is present in our society. Therefore, speaking of traditions, there are some of the traditions, customs up to date that are not relevant. That are not good. So back to title of the novel, ladies and gentlemen. The title, The Old Man and the Meadow, shows or talks about the old man, Maker, who is exploited by the whites, and the medal was given to Maker as a reward for his great contribution to whites. The medal symbolically means the hypocrisy of the whites. The title therefore relates to the content in the following ways. 1, there is the old man called Maker in the novel. 2, the old man Maker was awarded medals twice as a sign of friendship and appreciation from whites for his big contribution to whites. Example, offering land and 2 sons. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Don't forget to comment, share, and lastly, subscribe to my channel so that you can be able to get different messages whenever I just upload the new videos. Ciao.